remember earlier this year, I interviewed California Governor Gavin Newsom not that long ago. I floated the idea of a policy-based debate, red versus blue, red state versus blue state, between Gavin Newsom and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Here's a friendly reminder. I'll say Governor Newsom, Governor DeSantis, economy. That's the only word I'm going to throw out.
Love it.
You, minute, then you go at it. Next topic.
Right.
And I'll moderate it that way, and you have my word, I'll moderate it that way.
I'm all in. Count on it.
You would do a 2-hour debate with Ron DeSantis.
I make it 3.
Wow. That would be, how many of you would like to see that? Would you like, okay. Now, this would be a debate that highlights what are major political and philosophical divides in this country. Why is there mass immigration from blue states to red ones? How do you reconcile a lot of these issues that are so important? States with high income tax rates against states that have low income tax rates or none at all, like in the case of Florida. What's the difference between a sanctuary state and states that actually respect immigration laws? What about the issue of America? Should we remain energy independent or restrict the use of fossil fuels altogether? Now, Vice President Harris recently turned down the opportunity to debate Governor DeSantis. Gavin Newsom says he's not only open to it, he'll do it. Now we ask Governor DeSantis. We welcome him back to the program. Governor, how are you?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you. All right. You heard Gavin make the offer. Your answer is?
Absolutely. I'm game. Let's get it done. Just tell me when and where. We'll do it. And here's the thing, Sean. I mean, in one respect, the debate between California and Florida, has already been had, as you suggest. People have been voting on that. They've been voting on it with their feet. They have fled California in record numbers. Florida has been the #1 state for net in-migration. We have the #1 ranked economy, #1 now in education, crime rate at a 50-year low. But in another sense, this is the debate for the future of our country, because you have people like Joe Biden. They would love to see the Californication of the United States. Biden may not even be the nominee. You could have Gavin Newsom. You could have Kamala Harris. And I think if we go down that direction, that's going to accelerate American decline. We can't see America decline anymore. We need to reverse American decline.
Governor, let me ask you, because I know this issue of African-American curriculum came up, and my understanding is that you had a panel of predominantly African-American scholars build out the history of slavery, African-American history in the country, and you were attacked by Kamala Harris over that. And am I wrong in my understanding that these were predominantly, this curriculum was put together by African-American scholars predominantly?
Yeah, exactly. And one of the leaders was the former chairman of the U.S. Commission on Civil Rights. Kamala is lying, saying somehow these black scholars designed a curriculum to try to say there was somehow good with slavery. That is not true. They showed the injustice of slavery. They told all the stories throughout all of American history, including black history, and she's trying to demagogue it to score political points. But, Sean, we fight back against that. We do not bow down to the media mob. We don't bow down to the left when they are trying to demagogue and lie about things that are going on in the state of Florida. So I've stood up for those black scholars. I thank them for their job, and they did a good job.
I believe we're living in a time where Democrats especially are trying to criminalize political differences. I noticed a story about a Massachusetts DA wants the Attorney General Merrick Garland to prosecute you for sending illegal immigrants to Martha's Vineyard. My understanding in that case, by the way, they threw them off the island in less than 24 hours, and we did a background check. There were enough rooms for every one of those illegal immigrants. Is it true? My understanding is that every person that went to Martha's Vineyard signed a waiver and did so voluntarily?
Of course it was, Sean. I mean, give me a break. What a farce that they're doing. What a crock. But it just shows you the left in this country, They want to criminalize their political opposition. They want to weaponize the institutions of government to go after people that they can't beat through the political process. This was an issue in my re-election, Sean. Some people were attacking me over the fact that we've been very strong against illegal immigration. And what was the result of that? We won the greatest Republican landslide in Florida gubernatorial history. So this is a crock. It's a total abuse of power. But it doesn't surprise me that they would try to do that.
Last question. I noticed your response to the indictment of President Trump yesterday, and I know you're rivals right now, but you said something that really stuck with me, and that is, I don't believe any Republican can get a fair trial in Washington, D.C., or New York, or in Fulton County, Georgia. Should there be a better way to administer justice and not put liberal Democrats in conservative districts for trials? It should be a district where there is a fair balance of a jury pool.
Absolutely. I mean, in D.C., they will go after you if you're a Republican. The facts be damned. Republicans don't have a fair shot there. They should be able to have a fair trial somewhere else.
All right, Governor, we're going to work on the details behind the scenes with your office and Governor Newsom's office. We appreciate you coming on and accepting that challenge. That'll be interesting TV. Thank you for being with us. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.